everybody. It is April 26th, and we're going to be doing a Judy Jam now. This is with members of the Message of You. Today we're going to be talking about content. What is our content? Sometimes you can turn that content into a book. Let's start now. All right, so let's see who's here. Hey, everybody. So Mike is here, and it's Janine or Jeanette? What, Janine or Jeanette? What is it?
1 second. Jeanette.
Jeanette, that's right. Okay, because you don't have your whole name there. Okay, Jeanette, I want you to meet Mike. Mike just joined. He's coming to us from, he's a therapist. He deals with borderline personalities. He's amazing, and he's a former comic. So I want everybody to meet Mike. And then we have Janice. Hi, Janice. Good to have you here. And clank, clank. I'm going to mute you, Janet. You're making a hell of a lot of noise. And Andrea, where we just see the tip of her head. Hey, Andrea.
Hi.
And Andrea is not a little person, but she's here. Okay, so hi everybody. So we're just going to go around, have a check-in. Today I wanted to talk about content, but I'm always open to talk about what you need to talk about as well. So let's just go around and see where you're at, what are your goals, what have you been working on. So Mike, since we've been working together, why don't you start?
All right, I'm trying to get together my first speech and trying to put together my Message of You keynote speech, and Judy's been helpful with that, as well as some of the buddies on the list I've met. And I'm just looking to really get it. I feel like I'm all over the place and scattered, so I want to really get it down to a good, succinct message.
So do you want to read the message that you have now?
The one from Module 1?
No, the one that we worked on. You know how people in the workplace have this problem. We don't get to have our friends at work. We have to sometimes work with difficult people. And so that one, do you want to just get it out? Okay.
Sure.
Okay. I think I have it here. Let's see. What happened to it? Okay. You know how, it's weird. It just kind of vanished. All right, so why don't you give it a go?
All right. I lost you.
Okay, I'm here. Just give it. Oh, do you have it with you, or?
Yeah, I'm getting it open now.
Okay. I think
you know how we don't get to have friends at we don't get to have friends at work. We have to sometimes work with difficult people, insulting clients, demanding customers. I don't want to do that. I hate that. Why are you dealing with this? I'm Mike Mateo, and I speak on tolerance and dealing with difficult people. And then I'm trying to figure out the rest.
Oh, we didn't have other stuff. Let me see. Okay, first of all, when we do this statement, you need to put your audience. You know how people in the workplace have this problem? They're not, we don't get to bring our friends at work, right? Tolerance different. I'm an expert. Okay, so we need to finish this.
I found what I wrote from what we worked on. Can I do that?
Yeah, I'll come back to you. Why don't you pull it out, okay?
I got it.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. Go to
You
it.
know how, as healthcare workers, we have a lot of responsibility. We don't always get to have our friends at work. Sometimes we have to work with difficult people, insulting clients, demanding customers, and unreasonable accommodations. I don't understand why the staff bathroom can't have heated toilets. Or, God, I have to deal with Bob in accounting again. He's so aggressive, and all he does is yell figures at me. I once said good morning, he yelled back 4675. I know the struggle because I'm an expert in working with difficult people. I've worked for over 18 years as a social worker and a therapist for people with borderline personality disorder. I've given keynote speeches on this very topic. I'm Mike Cateo, and I speak on workplace tolerance and dealing with difficult people. And I've not only worked with difficult people, but I am a difficult person. I survived a car accident as a toddler, ending up with a traumatic brain injury that caused me to have a permanent physical disability. This led to depression, drug abuse, and HIV until I found success as a stand-up comic. Comedy saved my life, giving me a new perspective that I now use with clients. I show people how humor can help to change our perspective and diffuse anger. I do this in a 1-hour, interactive, highly entertaining, laugh out loud keynote where difficult problems are diffused with laughter, kindness, and the same methodology I use on my more difficult clients.
I love it. I love how you put humor into your message. I just want you to add the results, not just showing how humor, but the power of, I show the power of self-acceptance to create confidence and have tolerance for others, and solving, well, not emotional trauma, but solving difficult emotion or workplace relationships by visualization techniques. You know, I just wanted you to use more of your therapy background along with your humor background because I think it's more credible.
Gotcha.
Right?
Gotcha.
So with the results, just put in more of your therapy. And I also would like you to add one more thing about, I would say, I'd like to build up who you work with. As a therapist, I work with clients that nobody else wants to work with because their problems have been declared unsolvable, untreatable, borderline personalities. And I have found a technique to bring peace and calmness to even the most difficult clients. I can find a way to work with you, with your customers, you're this, you're that. You know what I mean? Like build a bridge between the two of them. Like
great, thank you.
How severe the people you are that work, and if I could create peace and serenity and self-acceptance for them, certainly I can help you with your employees, your clients, your customers. You know what I'm saying, right?
Yes.
Right. So I need that bridge built. Anybody have anything else they'd like to say or feedback or anything?
Please, please, please.
Anybody? No? All right. They're just into themselves, Mike. Don't worry about it. Anyway, so okay, so sounds really good. And we'll get into, you're working on module 2, going through module 2 and writing your speech. Keep coming back to your message and the results that you're going to give people. And what we're going to do today is take a look at that in the content. It's like, how do we create results in a 1-hour keynote? Okay, Jeanette, what are you working on? Yes. Yes.
Judy, hi. I have to tell you that I haven't been working on anything. I've been in sort of a little slump. What I did do, though, was I went to my competition who was doing a seminar exclusively for women. and I was astounded by the mistakes that she was making. It was ludicrous. And I was taking notes in shorthand so that people wouldn't understand that I was a planner and out me on this.
Mm-hmm.
So what I got out of that, though, was that because I was kind of doubting whether women would come out to an event that I'm going to be eventually doing. So they want to learn. Unfortunately, they were learning the wrong things that night.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I so get where you're coming from. We could get so tied up with our own insecurities and I'm worthless, I'm not very good. And then you see someone who's really putting themselves out there and they're horrible. Please don't mention this woman's name, because then I can't put this video out. But they're horrible. And I hope
No, of course. But again, it was just astounding.
I hope this gives you motivation to put yourself out there.
Yeah, and confidence too, because I thought, oh my God, this is just so bad.
Okay, so can I suggest something to
Yes.
you? Okay, so
yes.
What's your next step? Do you need to put out that you're having this event and write some copy about that?
Yes, I do.
Okay. All right. So can I just give you a quick thing that I would love for you to do?
Okay.
Very simple and doesn't cost anything. All right, here we go. So now you're looking at these modules, okay? And I'm going to go here and I'm going to go to the dashboard here. And I'm going to go to the courses. And I'm going to go to, this is like something I watch whenever I have to promote something. I'm going to give you 3 things to watch, okay? The first one to watch is how to pitch yourself to the media, lesson 7. So lesson 6 and lesson 7. They're very short. I think they're 10 minutes or 15 minutes each. So they're short, might be longer. But here Margot Black tells you how to really make what you do very intriguing. Rather than just, because you're a left brainer, right? And, you're tell it like it is, but sometimes we have to tell it like it's not. And she has some very unique ideas. Okay, so this is lesson 6 and lesson 7. Okay, then you're going to have to write copy for this. You want to listen to lesson 4, how to write content copy that sells. All right? So here my guest expert really shows how to write copy that sells. So if you just, want to work with that because you're doing a self-promoted event, you're really going to have to do this. And these 3 things won't take you long, but it's all you need to write great copy. Okay?
Okay. Perfect. Thank you, Judy.
All right.
Thank you.
Right. And then, to keep yourself on track, you might want to, get together with one of the people here that you see at the Judy Jam, because they're here, and the people here are willing to work. And don't be down on yourself. I have to tell you, I've been writing my book, and it's such a mess, and I finally got to it. And the only reason I got to it is I hired someone just to sit with me, so I have someone to talk to about what I'm writing and organize it, and and it's really hard to do it yourself. Just going to say you're not alone. Okay, Andrea, how are you, Andrea? What's going on?
I'm good.
I don't see you. I just see.
I know. Well, maybe I'll have to get a higher chair. I was undressed before, so I didn't want to get in.
Oh, okay. All right.
Hold on.
All right, I'll come back. Should I come back to you, or you're situating? You're situating. Let me move. You situate, Andrea. I'll move to Janet. Janet, how are you doing?
I'm good, thanks. How are you doing?
Fine. So where are we? What are you working on, and what are your goals?
So I've been doing a couple different things. I created a big flip chart and mapped out my buyer personas, like who they are, and what their problem is, and what solutions I provide, and then also like what are my talking points for these like specific groups of people.
Mm-hmm.
So that was really helpful because
Do you have that? Can you show it to us?
I threw away the flip chart, but I did put it into a spreadsheet, so I can do something with the spreadsheet if you're interested.
Do you have that? You can share it with us?
Yeah. Hold
I'd
on.
love to see it. Okay. And what are you doing with that information?
Well, I redid my my message because I tried it out a couple times and I felt like it was a little bit, because we were doing that whole whiners to winners thing. And I felt like it was a little too mean or something. I don't know. Yeah, exactly. It just wasn't.
I know. Yeah. I had a title once I thought was really funny. It was called Finding Happiness When You're Fat, Broke, and Surrounded by Idiots. And the meeting planner said, we don't want to use that because we don't want to suggest that our attendees are fat. So
right. Yeah. So anyway, so I rewrote my message with that in mind, and it's good. Like, I think it's more solid now, but it's a little dry. I haven't it's not very intriguing yet.
Do you want to say it?
I could, and I also have my buyer persona Excel spreadsheet if you want to see it.
Oh yeah, can you share it with us?
Yeah, how do I do that?
There should be a share button on your computer.
Hold on a sec. No, I've just got invite. Oh, share screen. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. iPhone, desktop. Okay, give me one sec. So can you see it?
Yeah, I love it. So this is across. So you have something for women executives. Oh, so those are the clients in A.
So these are the personas. They're social venture women executives, entrepreneurs of fast-growing mid-sized companies. Those are my two main targets.
Okay.
And then the third one are people who might who might be at a conference if I was speaking there, and those are just kind of a general senior managers.
I love that part of the problem is the emotion, the frustration,
Yeah. So this is presenting issue is like, what would they be aware of? Like how would they call it? What their problem was, and then their emotion about that, and then what I can see from my perspective as a coach. What their underlying issue actually is. And the virtual question is like, what is their system asking? Like, what are they continuously asking inside of them? Like so these particular women, they feel disempowered. And so what they're kind of continually asking is, why don't they, the people I work with, see me? Why don't they get me? Why don't they just follow me?
You know why?
Because they need my service.
There's always 32,000 books on leadership. How many books are there on followership? None.
Yeah, there you go.
To be a follower. Everybody wants to be a leader. Okay. And then your products and services.
And then like what things I could offer them, and then how does that go to speaking topics?
Wow, I love this. You know what I love about this, everybody? Is that this is such a left brain approach to empathy, right? Because it's very interesting, but what you are doing, which is so right on the nose, is how can I feel and understand the audience? And these are the people I'm pitching to. These are people I'm teaching. These are what I'm selling. And you have to make sure you're selling something that people really need. So you're outlining the entire problem here of them. So this is all about them. So
I actually put a little, I named them based, these are people who I know, the names of the people. and I put like a little card on the floor, and I tried to imagine them there and like be them, be inside them. Yeah.
So you took a big flip chart and you just started to write on it?
Yeah, yeah.
And why do you like that better than just typing into this sort of formula chart you have?
Because I can use color, and it's like there, and it's big, and I, draw all over it, and yeah. So it was like more, when I was doing it, it was more of a right brain activity, and then putting it into the spreadsheet was just because I didn't want to, have flip charts hanging all over my living room forever.
Great. Does anybody have any comments about this?
I love it. I wish I could do that.
You could do that. It's easy.
Why can't you do
for
it?
You.
Why can't you do it? I think this is an exercise that, when you talk in a speech about the problems that your audience has, that you get the emotion that they have about them.
Yeah.
And what's going on with them. And this is the way you connect, where you do this kind of pre-speech work and you get in front of them and you really connect with them, because they go, wow, she really gets us.
Yeah, that's what I was aiming for. Well, I mean, these are all, like I said, these are clients. These are people that I have worked with, that I know kind of really pretty clearly what their underlying emotion is.
This is great. So tell me, what's your next step? And
so then my next step was to do my, so should I stop sharing my screen?
Yeah, you can stop sharing.
So my next step was then to do my message. So I rewrote that. I can read it for you if you want.
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't want to take up everybody's time, but
go ahead. I think it's helpful to hear it.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay. So my working title is Getting to Swing: How to Align, Engage, and Empower Your Team to Create Breakthrough Results. And then my message goes, you know how entrepreneurs and executives have this problem? They get bogged down with people issues. Things like people not taking real ownership, silos forming, turf wars, accountability issues, and especially finding the right people for the right jobs. And then they start to notice the same dramas keep recurring. The same patterns replay like broken records. And that creates a lot of stress, anxiety, and frustration. They have sleepless nights worrying their team won't make it, the strategy won't work. Not because it's not a good strategy, but because their team can't get it done. You see, once communication starts breaking down, projects fall through the cracks, deadlines get extended, clients are disappointed, and inevitably customers are lost, even loyal ones. And when organizations get overwhelmed with this kind of patterned chaos, they get stuck not being able to break through to the next level of growth and impact. If any of this sounds familiar, you may be asking something like, how do I get my whole team into aligned action? How do we make sure the right discussions are had to move us forward as a team? How do we get enough momentum to break through to the next level? I'm Janet Schieferdecker, and from my 20 years of designing and delivering development coaching, leadership training, and strategy facilitation with small and mid-sized organizations, such as Sugar Bowl Bakery, Rising Medical Solutions, Parts Authority, Hired by Matrix, and many others, as well as my experience being a line manager myself at Philips Medical Systems, and my training. I have an MBA from London Business School, and I'm a certified career and professional coach and a master NLP practitioner. I speak on team building, leadership, and change, teaching executives and entrepreneurs how to cut through the chaos and lead their teams toward breakthrough results. In my 1-hour keynote, How to Create Strategic Time, leaders learn my 3-step process to decrease workplace drama, prioritize high value added action, and eliminate self-sabotage to put their results on steroids. In half-day or full-day trainings, as well as my one-on-one coaching programs, I teach managers at fast-growing companies how to truly empower their employees, get out of reactivity mode, and identify and implement mission, so they can be on the fast track to creating empowered futures. All programs are interactive, using role-playing, custom-designed activities, and a big dose of humor. Participants are fully engaged and leave saying, wow, I not only understand now, but it's in my DNA. I can do this. And they do.
Wow.
Wow.
Good,
Okay.
better?
Well, here's the thing. This is what I get from empower their employee, right?
Uh-huh.
That's what you get. I need to feel that throughout. I
Uh-huh.
need to feel your passion and your power.
Yeah.
So I need you to be more, into it. Right now, it's very clinical. So
Yeah.
one way you can solve that is you can do act outs. Why do the same problems keep opening up? So you don't say, they're frustrated, you act it,
Uh-huh.
right? So you don't have to say the emotion, but you be the emotion. And when you deliver it, you really do the act outs. Why do we have the same problems over and over? We just had a strategic meeting. Why don't people listen to me? Oh, great. Another missed deadline, How can we move together as a team? Well, I'm Janet, blah, 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 right? And I'm going to show you. So it needs more like that. You don't need to have every single problem, but you need to do a better acting job.
Okay.
They're not just words. All the feelings that you had in column B, you need to feel as you act out the people, right? Why can't I what is this? What, and you don't have to do it hyperbole. You don't have to go over the top with it, but you need to speak with emotion in your words,
Got it. Yeah.
rather than, because what's happening is you're losing your power because you're outside of it describing it, rather than when you're in the problem, you are that person. And the act out that you do nails what they're feeling, and that's how you get them at hello. Right?
Okay. Yeah.
Right. Oh, fine. Another missile. Gosh. I tell people, whatever, you really need to have that exact phrase that people say with the emotion that people go, she's on to us.
Got it. Yeah.
Right.
Okay. That's good. That's how they're going to say she gets me.
Yes, but you don't need a lot of it. That's too much information. I would cut to just 1/3 because you're repeating a lot of the same problems. Anybody else?
Okay.
I would say she talked about using humor, but her verbiage wasn't humorous.
No, it's not.
So I think with the act outs that Judy's talking about, you can put the humor in there.
I think it was really smart and really brilliant and well thought out and well put together. Just needs to punch it up a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe Janet and Mike, you can work to help each other with your own
I would love that if you're open.
Because Mike is super funny and can help jazz it up with some humor. But think of the word empower when you do it. And you're actually empowering others, because this is going to be what convinces people to inquire more about your services and what you do. Okay? So the pitch is all important. Okay, so now we have Andrea, which we can see some of her. Andrea, what's going on with you?
I have been speaking. I have a funny speech on fitness. I've been working on it for a couple of years. I have a fairly strong comedy writing background. I'm here in Chicago, near Second City. I've worked with even people on your webinars. So that's what I'm up to.
Okay, what's your
Sorry, Andrea, do you have a phone book?
Yeah, we just see you from the eyes up, but there you go. Okay, that's your
Oh, there she is.
Okay, so do you have what's your goal that you're working on now?
I'm decidedly caught in the free speaking loop, and I want to get out of it. I want to get paid.
Right. Okay. You want to get paid. And do you have a video? Do you have your message on video?
Still working on it. Right. They're revamping things right now, trying to get things on there.
All right.
I will admit, I have a pretty poor internet presence at the moment, or video presence. Yeah.
Unfortunately,
I'm kind of a sit back learner, and I'm really now just getting the point where I feel this is good enough to consider selling it. So.
Yeah, well, fitness is a thing that, that we have to have a real important, the results and the takeaways, other than, what typical, if we can somehow tie in fitness to making more money, that's how you get paid, right? Because a lot of times at women's expos and things, they'll hire a fitness person or a yoga person, but you want to be more than that. You want to develop a strong message. Right?
Uh-huh.
All right.
Right.
Well, okay. So let's go, and we have John. Oh, what are you up to? Oh. Hey, John. Hello.
That's probably better.
There you go.
I think I need to hire the person for the couch. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Is this okay? Can you see me, or
I can hear and
my
see
internet
you.
connection isn't great right now?
What are you working on?
Okay. Well, since the last one, I haven't worked on anything, so
Yeah.
I'm going to be really good for next time. Redoubling my commitment right now.
Don't worry about that. That's part of it. I always find also that sometimes when I don't work on things, they're brewing in my mind. And I always like to, if I'm going to work on something, here's a little tip. I like to walk my dog or just go for a walk beforehand and start visualizing what I'm working on. What do I want to say? And it's ideas pop in my head. And then I record them. And then I go back, and I find it very painful to sit down and write. So the first thing I'll do is just transcribe what I wrote while I was standing up, right? So the creative activity is actually what you do on the walk, where you're just jamming, and then you throw that down on paper. And then you have a start, because I feel writing happens for a lot of people, not while they're sitting down writing, but when they're out in life, walking around, thinking about it, picturing an audience in front of them, and this is what I have to share. Or which course are you in? Are you in the comedy course or the speaking course?
I'm in the speaking course.
Okay, so maybe you just want to start, like, boy, what is the problem that my audience really has, and come up with a really, just take the formula and go with it. Okay.
Well, I think the workbook's very helpful.
Did you do?
So I just want to go through it.
Did you do your 30-minute private with me?
No.
Oh, we should sign up for that. That's how you really get it going. Okay. And then Janice, what's going on with you?
I took on too much. So in a nutshell, I decided to become a Weight Watcher leader because they approached me and I thought that would qualify me for NSA membership. And the training is a killer. I've already done like 20 self-study videos, and I have to go to all these sessions and watch the receptionist and weigh people in and do all this stuff. And then they're sending me to Dallas for a training. Then I made a offhanded comment at the NSA Christmas party, and then I got roped into doing a speech on how to read people, which I know instinctively, but I'm not an expert on that. So then I ran and did a bunch of research, threw together a PowerPoint just to get organized, and I'm still not sure what I'm doing. Then I'm also doing an event for SHRM. You know what SHRM is, don't you, Judy?
What is it?
Society of HR Management, that big national.
Oh, SHRM. Yeah, that.
So they started a Northern California chapter because the prior Northern California chapter split off. And I made friends with the coordinator. And so I'm doing a roundtable. And I got the idea from Darren LaCroix today, who talked about you, to do a video advertisement on behalf of SHRM and post it, so then I can also mention my own website. So that's a few of the things I'm working on.
Wow. Now, have we done your message yet? Did we get together? Okay.
Yeah.
And
I haven't had a private with you, but I've done my message.
Okay. Well, why don't you schedule a private and then we can home, because it sounds like you're all over the place.
Yeah.
Right. And I've often had people say to me, oh, you should write about this, or you should do this. And it always sidetracks me from what I'm doing, you know. But
Yeah.
how to read people could be definitely a part of what you do, and
Yes.
one of the action steps. And Weight Watcher, I go to Weight Watchers every week, and my leader is a wonderful speaker. She's just wonderful, super funny, super powerful, and it's a great way to, I think you're real smart about that. It's a great way to get, to become a motivational speaker, because that's what they do.
Yeah.
So I think that's
Thank you.
really, really super great. Sorry that it's such a hard training session. Okay, so we've covered everybody. I wanted to talk just a little bit about this whole notion of what is your content. Now, when I write a speech with somebody, I always start here. Because what do you guys think content is? What is, when they go like, what is your content? You're a content speaker. What is your content? And all speakers have to be content speakers. So basically, what do you think that is? Content. Yeah.
It's the message you're trying to leave them with.
Okay.
And something you're teaching them.
What?
Something you're teaching them.
Yeah. It's your takeaways. It's your teachable lessons. It's your methodology. It's something that you've developed, and that's why they pay you. Like, for example, Simon Sinek, his methodology, I don't know if you've seen him, but he's like, you know, the world used to be all about what, now it's about why. So to succeed in business, here are 5 steps to find out why you do what you do. Okay, your motivation and how to understand your motivation, and then takes you through that methodology. So you need a methodology. So my methodology, and you'll see like how it doesn't have to be really brilliant when you hear what mine is. My methodology is to have number one, have a contrary attitude to negative stuff. So usually the things that we complain about, try saying this word, woohoo. So when people say, hello, how are you? Rather than saying fine, you go, how are you? I'm fat, woohoo. And then it shifts the stress in your brain. I'm totally stressed out, woo. You know, and it makes you laugh, and it makes people laugh, and it lightens up the workplace. So that's a methodology. So in many speeches of people that I have real difficulty when they're clients and working with, and they don't have methodology, they'll say, follow your dreams. And I go, okay, how do people discover their dreams, right? So what I'd like to, so then my second methodology is make fun of yourself, but appreciate others. So you lighten up the world by appreciating others, to find some way to appreciate. And then I have a lot of funny stuff about that. If a guy's in front of you, 1-800, how am I driving? Roll down the window. I love your left turn. So, lighten up, people. Knock on someone's door in your office and go, oh my God, the colors in your Excel chart rock. Really fantastic. Anyway, so I have all this stuff about the power of appreciation. And then finally, I have one other, the third one, because you should have 3. And, validate the negative things people say without being defensive. So that's more of how to handle hecklers in life. Validate, okay? So I set up each one with a story about it. I teach it. And then I set up a story about it. And then I say, so let's all practice it, right? So there's 3 steps to lightening up. Okay, you guys see that? So how do we become empowered? Well, here's step 1, step 2, step 3. So when I work with people, this comes like about sometimes a half hour into your talk or 20 minutes in the talk. It comes in where we've set up what the problem is. We've set up a compelling story, a credential story about, someone who was really miserable, or you were miserable, and they lightened up. How do they do that? So here are the steps. So we do them one at a time. Now, these, you might have noticed in books that sell, there's all these books, and they all have a number in the title. 5 steps to finding your authentic self. The 7 habits of highly effective people. So the steps that you do in your speech then can be translated into a book. And you can try them out and see how people respond to them in a speech, and then you can take them. So we need to have, what is your method? You can't, because I remember when I first started speaking, I'd say, so first we have to do one thing a day that you love doing. And so turn to the person next to you and tell them what you love doing. And everybody just sat there. And with Sioux City, Iowa, it wasn't in a place where everybody knows what they want to do, like LA or something, what they love, because everybody goes to therapists and finds out. These people they don't do what they love. Their mothers, their grandmothers. And I said, why did everybody just sit there? And they went, nobody knew what they loved. So I needed a step. How do you rediscover what you love? How do you do that? How do you find it? So you just can't tell people to do things. You have to teach them how to do things. So when we're a motivational speaker, we're teaching, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you maybe the video on this, okay? And then what we can do is break up into 2s and see if you can come up with a couple steps, all right? So here we go. Let's just go here. And let's just go look at this course. Come here. And I think what I have you do is in module 1, we talk about seeing this. All right, let me just find it. Continue course. So I'm click here, continue course. And it is here, enhancing your understanding people's problems, credibility story, connecting with the audience. Is that why I call it that? Let's just see what this is.
Are going through, you mean it.
Now here's an exercise not to do in front of a computer, but in life with strangers. Because isn't that way? Understand the problem. Let me just see. I don't think that's. Here it is. Okay, so let's just look at this a second.
Next, I'm going to ask you to look at.
Okay, look at the problems your audience is facing, okay? And then you have in your message, I show the audience how they can get these results. How are they going to get these results? I don't think this is the video, but doesn't matter. What we're going to do, I'm not going to go through the video. What you can do that on your own. But what I want you to do is I want to break up into 2s. And what I want you to do is to look in the message view statement, one result that you give. So for instance, let's talk about Jeanette Brox. She says, you're going to learn how to identify your goals and set a plan, take back your financial power, learn to trust your gut. All right, so let's just say, Jeanette, you learn to trust your gut. And what you're going to do is how do you teach? What is the first step to trust your gut? How do you develop instinct? Okay, so which is an interesting thing. And you'll jam and see if you have a way to find that out. Okay, a way to teach that. And then Mike, you have what's the first step in someone's yelling at you or you're dealing with a difficult person? How do you not take on that stress? What's the first step in that? Okay, and what is the first step to being empowered as a manager, Janet? Okay, and the rest of you, take one of the things that you promise and how do you teach it? Okay, so we might go over a little over today, but what I want to do is we'll go into our breakout rooms now. Okay, so
something I said.
we just came out of our working together in breakout sessions that we do in these Judy Jams. And what the question is what is the result and what is the first action step to get there? So Mike, what do you have for yourself? What is one of the results?
So I went last, so I didn't really get a lot of time. And what we identify was I show the power of, I show how to help people accept themselves. But what we got to was, there's a step before that where I have to help them see why they're an asshole.
Okay, so you're going to help people accept themselves.
Right.
What's my first step to accepting people? What's the first step?
Identifying what you don't like about people? Or
so how does that help me accept myself?
See, I don't know.
Well, okay, so you have to look at what you promise people and teach them. So one of the things you're going to teach them is how to use humor, right? To handle difficult people. How do I do that? How do I handle, what's my first step? What's my first step? When someone's difficult, okay, so I'm going to say, hey, you're an asshole. How are you going to handle me? Mike?
Well, I will agree with them as a way to diffuse the situation.
Okay, stop right there. That's perfect. So agree with them. I don't think you have to agree with them. Someone says something, horrible to you, but you can validate that they feel that way, which diffuses the stress. Yeah, okay, I get it. You feel that, all gay people are sinners. Okay, I get that that's what you feel that way. If you agree with them, you're undermining your own ethics. So validation and agreement are two different things. So be careful the words. So validate them. All right, that's really good. Andrea, what do you have? Andrea?
I'm sorry?
What do you have? What is the result and what what is the result and what the exercise we just did?
Yeah. Okay.
What's the first step towards having a healthy body?
Uh-huh.
The first step. What do? I don't want to exercise. What's my first step?
What the result is or what you do?
No, because we only have 5 minutes. We have a lot of people. Okay. You have 10 seconds. So what is the first thing I should do if I don't like to exercise?
I'm right back.
Find something that works for your unique personality.
How do I do that? Find something that works. There's a step before that. See, find something that works for you is not something I can do in a keynote that you want everybody to leave the room. You want something that they could do now. Let me give you an example.
Be creative in terms of what works for you. And I do have some methodology involving that.
What is the first methodology step? How do I be creative?
Pick something that causes you to use your brain and employ that into your...
Let me give you an example. I want everybody in the room right now, our first step is to imagine yourself as healthy. I want you to imagine yourself. What do you look like? Feel that body, because that is the body that is yours. Okay? So the first step is maybe to imagine. That's an action step. But you say, I want everybody right now to be creative. People will look at you like, what the F? How do I be creative? You have to give people words like imagine, say this, validate someone who said, we need action words. So the first word might be imagine. Okay, John, what do you have?
Okay, it's a good backdrop, isn't it? Looks like a fake backdrop behind me.
It looks very cool.
Yeah.
So go
I'm
ahead.
closer to get better internet. I'm outside, but my goal was to have people like, let's say, have irate customers calling, like people in the customer service departments for handling problems, how to feel like build relationships with those people rather than.
What's my first step?
defensive.
What's my first step to build a relationship?
First step is to look at imagine the person as your friend or someone. Imagine, let's say, if it's a man, their wife just walked out on them. So they're really upset, but it's not at you.
Oh, okay. Imagine something bad just happened to them.
Right.
And find a way to have empathy. Okay,
Right.
That's fantastic. That's very specific. Very good. Okay, imagine that person. Excellent. Okay, Jeanette, what do you have?
Okay, so thank you for all your help. So I want people to learn how to trust their gut. Okay, so first of all, they're going to feel their gut, and then they're going to breathe in and imagine getting away from everyone who gives them stress.
Okay, good.
And it will allow them.
Hold it 1 second. Hold it 1 second. Okay.
Okay.
Feel your gut. That's one action step. The next one's the second action step. So the first action is like to get in touch with your gut. Everybody talks about gut reaction. What is your gut reaction? Leading with your gut, your intuition. Some of the most successful people in the world, they go, I lead with my gut, right? So so many of us don't have any contact with our gut. So right now, the first step is everybody put your hand on your gut, right? That's something very specific. Breathe into it. It cannot lie. It knows when you're upset. It knows, we try, breathe, put your hand on it and breathe and feel it. Because this is the place that can help you be more honest, make more authentic decisions, feel it. And it's so true. We don't touch ourselves. Well, touching our gut. They did this in Pilates where she said, breathe, and she said, put your hand so you can feel your stomach muscles. And I went, I haven't really felt my stomach muscles. Look, I have them. Okay, good, good. Janet, I liked Janet. All right. Can I give Janice your email address? Janet.
Yes.
Okay, good. She wants it. All right. So Janice, you email me and I'll email you back. Okay, Janet, what's yours?
So the first step is to identify your role in the drama. So the outcome that I'm looking for is for these executives to get their strategic time back. And I want to take them through something called the Cartman drama triangle, which is about the rescuer, persecutor, victim.
So pick one role which describes you in the drama, in the drama, right? Mm-hmm. So to go from blame to accountability is which one are you? And you're going to give them examples and they're going to pick one. See, that's very specific. People can do that. Our audiences like when they can do what we ask of them. Okay, so pick one. Very good. People love when they have choice. And Janice, what's yours?
Mine was about employee engagement by positively reinforcing an employee, and the idea you gave me was
the action step is
catch people doing things right.
Perfect. Okay, so everybody can see that is very clear, and then you can explain it and do a story about it. So let me just finish by saying you guys all did a great job. All of you did a great job. And when you write a speech, the first thing you need to write is your content, which is, here's the results I'm going to give you. You get this result by step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. So whatever the results you want to give people, you have to have how do you do this? Like, what are the steps? And sometimes if your step is a big step, like you might have little steps within it, you know, that's fine. But the way we do this and the way we write this is we say, this is what we want, this is the result. Here's step one. You explain it, you teach it. You don't tell people to do it, you teach it. You illustrate it with a story. Here's a story how I use this step. Here's a story how somebody in another speech I did wrote me back how she used this step. Here's a story about how people use this, you know, here's a story how I found this step, right? That's a good one. You want to tell a story. And then at the end of this, you go, so how many of you, let's try this right now. Everybody take your right hand and put it on your gut, right? Because it knows what your next decision should be. Everybody, let's just, you know, all right, imagine somebody's insulting you. What can you, how would you validate them? Turn to the person next to you and try this exercise. Say something bad to them. Now validate them. All right, let's talk about it. So next, and then you do your call to action. Next time someone does this, what are you going to do? How many of you are willing to try this out? So each step has a story associated with. So when writing a speech, it's really good to start with developing your methodology, your content, your action steps. How do you teach the results that you promise? And each action step has a story, because we teach with stories, because stories have an emotional quality that audiences find really interesting. You know, like I teach about doing something different to get different results. And I have a great story about how I got on Oprah. And just by doing something different. And it ended me up on Oprah. So then people are more willing to try it because you told a compelling story about it. So this is very difficult what you people are doing and what you're taking on, and I admire all of you. And I admire your patience, and I admire also that you keep coming back, because each time we come to these Judy sessions, you're going to learn another little thing. And I'm going to leave now. And you know what? In the chat, you can give each other your email. Nobody's going to spam anybody. Why don't you guys do that? Find some meetup time, send emails, and do that, okay? Because for privacy issues, I really can't share emails and stuff like that. So why don't you guys do that? And thank you all. This is great, Judy Jam. Great working with you. And I will see you in a couple weeks. So there's the chat. Go to it.